So first of all, I would just like to thank, of course, all our guests for joining in and listening in to this session, where we will discuss the realm of data today, and also the integration of data and AI in the crypto space, of course. So thank you to all the listeners and, of course, our guests that are here. So today we'll take a deep dive into the AI's transformative role in data handling within the crypto space. So we will tackle how data storage has evolved and also the impact of FHE on privacy and the dynamic between data ownership and AI innovation. So we'll focus a lot more on data today than compared to yesterday, where we talked a lot of hardware. So I thought that we can just begin with a quick roundtable introductions of all our guests, of course. So Matt,
I think LJ from eSign has joined, and can you request?
I have clicked approve here, so you
Okay.
should appear on stage soon. But Matt, why don't you start to give a brief introduction of yourself, what you're working on, what's your background?
Yeah. So my background is in AI. I worked for AI at Unity. I was the head of AI there, and then I just started off with economics actually, and then went more data science, machine learning. That I started two companies. One was AI related, using AI to basically do recommendation for hearing aid parameters. So it's a direct consumer hearing aid company. And currently I am the head of technology at Solana Foundation. So helping the ecosystem from the core protocol all the way to the application layer, make sure that the technologies are cohesive and the network is set up for success.
Thank you. What about you, LJ? Welcome, of course, to begin with. But we thought if we could just do some roundtable introductions. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what you're working on.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here. My name is LJ. I'm currently the operations lead here at eSign. So at eSign, we started out by building a Web3 version of DocuSign where we record all your signature on chain, and we don't store any of your private data. So all the storage is going to be on the storage blockchain. And now we abstract this decentralized app into a more infrastructure and protocol level innovation called Sign Protocol, where we are able to record attestation generated by the sort of your blockchain wallet transaction. So from changing from just able to sign PDF documents, everybody can start to sign anything on chain. So that's what we're currently building on, very excited to chat more and explore more ideas with you guys here.
Thank you. Very nice to have you here, of course. What about you? Is it Stan the man at Web3Go? Did I get it right?
Yes, you get it right. Thanks. So I'm Stan, and I'm lead of the community from Web3Go team. And Web3Go actually is a data intelligence network that is building the data pre-processing layer for decentralized AI. And now we have 3 products launched. The first is Analytics, which is an on-chain data platform, and we have Ricky. Ricky is a no-coding chatbot platform, and also we have Xdata. Xdata is a off-chain product which is on Google Chrome extension store that user can collect data from X. Yep, and I think that's an introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice to have you here, of course. And Chard, welcome, our latest joiner. Why don't you give a brief introduction to yourself and your background and what you're working on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me clearly?
Yep.
Great. I'm just on the highway. Yeah, so I'm Charles. Yes, I'm a founder of SwanChain. So what SwanChain does is decentralized AI computing solutions. We connect data centers worldwide to provide decentralized AI computing power to different blockchain and also AI models. So basically, you can deploy any models, include the Lambda 3, the Stable Diffusion, or music generation to use the data center power worldwide. We're not just providing the GPUs, but also provide storage, batteries, everything. So we just finished our latest test net. We have over 1 million GPU hours contributed to the network, and we have over 1,000 models have been deployed. We are incubated by Balance Labs and Chainlink Labs, Proto Labs, and also Outlier Venture in Europe. And so far, so it's good. We have a lot of community members very interesting about the deeping AI, and yeah, we're happy to talk about with you guys about anything you want to know. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Thank you, Chart. So, David, are we still waiting for Christian, or should we just move ahead?
Um, yeah, I couldn't contact with him right now, but we can move ahead. So I can give a short introduction of myself and
Yep.
privacy again. Yeah, today's like the third AMA we conducted this week, and been introducing privacy already. But then I can also give a quick one. My personal background also was on the AI and blockchain infrastructure side, and privacy is a startup focused on efficient and user-friendly FHE solution, fully homomorphic encryption, which has been tailored for users in both Web2 and Web3 environments. And so basically, we're building two fundamental products right now. One is a deeping network with FHE machine learning capabilities, which is help clients or corporate partners to host machine learning models by applying FHE pipelines, which has been we cooperate using Zama's concrete ML TFHEIS. And second one is the application we're building on top of this network, which is called Profi-Human DApp. We're gonna release soon by the end of the month. And its application can run it on this infrastructure and do proof of human for different scenarios such as NTCB or decentralized KYC procedures. Thank you so much for joining the discussion today. I will handle this to Simon again. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Very nice introduction. So, I thought that we could just start off to kind of get a historical background to all of this of crypto and data storage and data handling. So, my first question is really targeted towards you, Charles. So, I mean, looking back at the early days of crypto's inception, it primarily improved the immutability and security of data storage by sacrificing the cost and efficiency of it. But given the more complex and massive data types and structures that we face today, what stages has the current crypto data storage solutions gone through, and what achievements has it reached so far, you think?
Yeah, so I've been working on the storage domain for quite a long time. I remember the day when I joined Filecoin, which was 3 years ago, right? There were people still using IPFS to store the data, right? Then there's two challenges that happens at the time. Like one is three challenges I would say. Like one is on-chain storage, right? Which is at that time we don't see like the blob storage is so large, right? Now like every layer to almost 1 TB or 2 TB data. That's the number one issue. Number two is some short-term storage, which is lots of people we're using IPFS at the moment. And the third one is large data set, which is currently like everybody talking about in AI. For example, Internet Archive, they have over gigabyte of storage need to be stored, and we have a common data set which is about 10 petabyte, which is exceeds the capacity the entire blockchain industry, including Ethereum, like Bitcoin, all of them added together. Not there yet, but we have those challenges on the AI, right? The AI data set can be easily up 100 terabytes. So this is a challenge we see. Filecoin is one solution we start working with them in the early stages. So what they have installed is proof of storage. So they can prove that the data is stored on off-chain. Actually, it's not on-chain, but it's submitted the on-chain approved to the on-chain, so everyone knows that you do store the data. But the issue is like they cannot. The encryption part still rely on yourself to solve it, and they have a limitation about 32 gigabyte of each sectors. So which means that if you have 1 terabyte, you need to cut it to 30 pieces, and record is hash tables. So Swan Chain have building a reputation system, connect this data storage provider worldwide. We transferred over 200 petabyte of storage worldwide. So this means that the 200 petabyte data is good enough to do lots of data set for the AI, but how to faster retrieve it, how to build a cache layer, and more important, like people have been mentioned here, how to make sure they are secured, stored. So the secure means that when you have the data, secondary, the data is either encrypted or um, sharding. So those are something like we still in research, how to make sure the data, well, the encrypted data will handle to the computer providers. When they're doing the computing, they don't steal the information from the data. That's something that we still are working on. I think like other members who is on the panel have better ideas or better solutions. I would like to learn. So this is something like we have been research how to store large data on chain and off chain. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you, Charles, for your insights on the kind of evolution of the data storage side. So, David, what specific application scenarios do you think that FHA technology can be applied to in data security and privacy protection? I mean, compared to traditional encryption methods, what unique advantages does FHA have in data processing and sharing here?
I can speak a little bit about the FHE side, since we've been doing quite a few years on the FHE research side. So basically, fully homomorphic encryption is a technology we can help the users to do calculation without decrypted the data. So everything stays in the ciphertext space, and you can still get the result after the calculation by without decryption, and you just use your private key to decrypt the result. The FHE current use case is quite vast and in different in both Web 2 and Web 3, I think. For example, this the first one the privacy perceiving data analysis, and you just keep everything in encrypted the data itself. The original data is stay in encrypted state, and you can do traditional data analysis purpose on it, using data analysis models and apply for it. And also you can dedicate, second one probably can dedicate the computation to third party without disclose sensitive information. That is on the computation side. This computation can be on complex machine learning models or large data analysis. We also have using it for data search or sorting on encrypted data without the needs to decrypt the data. And also, I think FH can be also combined with other privacy perceiving technologies like MPC. Then you can solve some of the lower down the cost of the key handling in the MPC part, make it more safe, make it safer, and also can be combined with federal learning. Like yesterday, we invited Flock, and the federal learning can be combined with FHE on the multi-party training on the model side. That is very useful, I think. The benefits of using FHE, I mean, obviously, since data is encrypted and you don't need to decrypt data, so it's very suitable for handling the data ownership. So the data ownership state controls inside the data owner's hand with keeping the private key, and the benefits is like FHE can be applied to any data types, I think, almost all kinds of different data structures and data types, and uh, also compared to other cryptographic technologies, FHEs, it's very static. I mean, there's almost no communication cost because everything or every cost is focused on the computation side. So less communication means when you design a network, it's probably it's fairly easy compared to others like MPC. You need third party to verify each steps, and that is basically creates complexity in the network design. And yeah, I think that's like two major benefits, I think. Of course, and also homomorphic encryption is and fundamentally designed based on the lattice, uh, the, the the structure, the data structure, and is one of the post quantum tech. Yeah, so it's I would say it's safer. So I think there's some the main benefits I can think about it right now. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, very, very interesting, David. We really think that we have some great use cases ahead for FHE. What about our other guests? Do you see any other application scenarios for the FHE, or what advantages do you see by using FHE for this? Matt, LJ, Charles, do you have anything you want to chip in here?
Yes, for me, like that's exactly the solution I was looking for in my when I answered previous question, right? You say like if we can make sure we get the training result where don't touch the user data, that would be perfect, right? So with FAG, like we get the something like I know like NVIDIA is doing something called computational computing, but that's heavily bound into the NVIDIA solutions. So with FAG, like we can do something in other even CPU solutions without NVIDIA support, right? So that's the thing. Like imagine like we have data centers over 20 data centers in 24 cities that are running those computing networks, right? And we can let them download the data, but without touching it and without encrypting it, and we still get the result we want. So that is exactly the solution decentralized AI computing needed. Without this, I don't think decentralized computing can do private computing. We can only do the public data set, which is really limited the user scenario. That's why I think like this is revolutionary technology, and we definitely need to pursue it. To be honest with you, I have started research the FHE science 5 years ago, but I know like it's super hard. It's needs lots of
Hmm.
PhDs, lots of work. That's why I give up. Honestly, I'm waiting the solutions come up, and I will. As soon as it's ready, I'm going to use it. So that's pretty much from my side.
Hmm.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
Charlie. Charlie, thank you, Charles. I think that's something we can definitely discuss it after the meeting. Explore new solutions together with you guys.
LD, Matt, Stan, do you have any other viewpoints on the FHE and its application scenarios? Perfect. Get a thumbs up from Matt. So seems like he agrees. Let's move on then. So, Stan, I have a question for you here. Okay, we know that the creation of outstanding AI models cannot be separated from the supply of massive amounts of data, of course. So, in the field combining the AI with data, how do crypto solutions compare to traditional domain solutions in terms of advantages and competitiveness?
Yeah, sure. For the crypto solution, like Web3 Go offers several straightforward advantage over traditional data system when it comes to AI mode development. And I think there are several advantages. The first will be decentralization. Unlike traditional systems that store data centrally, crypto solution use blockchain to distribute data across many nodes. And also, the second point I could say is data ownership and privacy. Like blockchain allows individuals to maintain control over their own data. They can decide who access their data and for what purpose, which enhance privacy. Also, for the transparency, all transactions and data exchanged on the blockchain are recorded permanently, also providing clear audit trails. This helps in ensuring that the data used in AI modes is accurate and also unchanged. Fourth, I think is the most important, is monetization. In crypto system, like individuals can be compensated by providing data or providing data, or they can provide GPUs or other things to get monetization, to get their benefit, cryptocurrency or tokens. Actually, that's what Web3 Go's purpose also. Also for actually in Web3 Go right now, we have a system. We have a system for the tokenomics and utilities. Like we have three roles actually. The first will be data collector for sure, who collect and also provide data. The second will be computation nodes, which is GPU. They can also get rewards by converting data. Also, we have another role, the validation node. They can also get rewards for validating data. I think this will be the most important parts for AI plus data. That it's much better than the traditional way. And right now, I remember when I was in Hong Kong, I joined the panel, and also the KIP protocol founders also shared some news, like he shared right now OpenAI just just grab data from the internet without like any rules. Like they don't follow the rules, they just getting the data. Yeah, this is very unhealthy for the data like provider or generator. Yeah.
Thank you, Stan. Very interesting to hear your perspective on this.
Yep, thank you.
So, anyone else want to speak up on this as well? LJ, Matt, or?
Yep. I can share a little bit from our perspective. So, I believe that not only owning the data ownership, it's one particular strength or advantage that blockchain technology offer day-to-day users have, but also the blockchain itself, all the data on the blockchain, the sort of transparency on the blockchain. From a data perspective, it's also very important. So as we are building the sign protocol, we gradually realize this sort of network effect from this sort of attestation graph. So basically how it works is that think about people who sign documents with each other, right? So like I would be, if me and David sign a document or sign something, like we met in person at one point, and then another friend of mine saw this this link that me and David have this existing relationship. So they will have more trust in this process. It's more like a social graph, but from a blockchain perspective, everything is clear and the data is more easily accessible. And so and especially with AI and proof of human protocol and everything else that we've been covering today, seems to me that with the current technology, with the current blockchain, and all the technology and encryption method that we can currently implement, we're able to easily access the sort of something that's AI generated or something that's human generated more easily. So from that perspective, we can we will be better informed on something that's generated by AI. We'll be able to detect what's AI GC, and something that's deepfake or something that's not true or true, more easily. So from that perspective, I think the blockchain native technology will be able to offer the future of AI and data development in this process.
Yeah, very interesting. Definitely something that we need to be aware of course. Thank you. So, LJ, speaking of like identity and data sharing. So identity is a special kind of information data, and it is gradually being valued by the Web3 community and also serves as an important reference data for many projects to allocate rights and benefits. Do you think that on-chain anonymity and on-chain identity information have contradictions at the outset, and how does the current encryption technology effectively resolve this contradiction?
So this question directs to me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So identity space is something we are very interested in. So I think 2 weeks ago we launched the sort of sign profile feature on Sign Protocol. Basically, you are able to link a lot of your not digital ID or your social login, such as your GitHub identity, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, email, and also your like government identity, such as SingPass, the sort of e-residency, the sort of government-backed digital residency card you have for any Singapore residents. So the thought behind this feature is that whoever make attestation on chain, the thought behind this is how do we bridge more trust from off chain to on chain, right? Like for example, if we don't know anything about certain address and we see this address make an attestation stating anything, the sort of trust or validity behind this attestation, it's still not that trustworthy, right? So but if the person started with a they have make the attestation with their maybe ENS or SIMPass or even email, and people who know this person will be able to identify, oh wow, okay, so he or she made this attestation using his real identity. So that gives the sort of validity on chain. So that's the sort of thought coming from bridging the off-chain identity and off-chain trust on chain. And with the uh, with the AI development, especially AIGC, AI generated content, I think this is especially useful because, as I mentioned earlier, that if we were able to make the sort of attestation directly from any AIGC engine, such as Sora or ChatGPT, anything like that, for when the creator started with an attestation saying that this is AI generated, and then all the engine can somehow make the on-chain proof that this content is generated by this by whichever engine might be. Um, Everybody on chain will be able to see, oh, okay, so this is an AIGC content. Maybe the creator will be able to own their IP. Maybe everybody can make aware of this sort of characteristic of certain content. So from that perspective, I think that also increases validity and also maybe able to unlock the sort of AI IP sort of things as well.
Thank you. Very insightful. Really interesting to hear your perspective on this. So, Matt, as we have already discussed a lot of the different kind of problems with identity and data ownership. I mean, the problem with data ownership has long plagued the Web2 internet companies, and the arrival of the AI era has undoubtedly made this conflict more acute, making the relationship between data producers, users, and owners even more sensitive. So we can see that Solana has a vast amount of projects and user data. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, when I think of this, I think there's a lot of collaboration that could happen in Web 2, but because you're just holding on to the data, like if you view that as one of the main valuable things that your company is doing, either to serve an ad network, whatever monetization, owning the user is a huge thing. Whereas if you can pass around the functionality, it's transparent what data types there are and what the functionality is. Other people can just kind of permissionlessly build on top of it and add value without you necessarily giving up the secret sauce or the user, or even getting power from the user. So if we've talked a little bit about few different topics here, but like medical records is kind of one of the most obvious ones, where if I can own my medical records, I have my own keys for them, and I can just kind of choose which functionality to interact with. That's like a much better paradigm. So something like I could take a DEXA scan or something and have uh, somebody certify the results, and then I can use that in any number of either just recommendations on products I could get, or different types of care, or whatever it might be. And none of those entities need to know the exact results. They just are, running the data types through, some known functionality that they have. And yeah, I think that's like a pretty fundamentally different way of thinking about adding value to users. And I think that's one of the main benefits that I see in the near future.
Cool. Very interesting. I think you had a question here, David, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, really, as it's an honor to have Matt here. I mean, as a tech lead in Solana. I mean, actually, we have a lot of interesting questions for you, Matt. Can I ask a few more here for you?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, the first one is we quite interested about the Solana. Why Solana doesn't have layer two? I mean, compared to Ethereum or some other chains. That do you think does it make sense to for Solana to have layer two for a specific purpose later, like for example, privacy chain or some other specific purpose? I would say.
I mean, one of the main reasons why there's not layer twos today is Solana is scaled to the point where Solana does more transactions
Yeah.
today than all other public blockchains combined. So it doesn't necessarily need it for strict scaling. I think what you're getting at is correct, that there's might be some configuration options that are either hard or impractical to do on mainnet, things like geo locking or some regulatory things. So I'm behind what we call SPEs, Solana permission environments, and that's kind of what that's for. If there's some regulatory environment that, say, a group of banks want to operate together, but they have their own regulatory schedules, but they still want to be able to interact with each other with some assurances on each one. So there's those kinds of things, and then I think there's already privacy and other forms of them coming out. Light protocol even had ZK functions, privacy
Yeah,
functions.
makes sense.
FHE can come out. So there's it's probably just going to look slightly different because it's not always purely for scaling. It's just some combination of technology. So Magic Block, for example, is a game. They're coming out with Volt, which is a ephemeral sidechain. So you can think of this as a high performance game session. So if I want to do something that's near real time strategy game or something like that, you could just roll in essentially a state chain, and then it would be very connected with mainnet. So it's not really consolidated in blocks in the same way an L2 would be, but it's very much an L2 in the sense that it does off-chain compute and consolidates and gives proofs back to mainnet. Several other examples of that. I think you're just going to see a lot of different types of these modules. I think this kind of goes for integrated versus modular. I think there are a bunch of modules, but when you have this high performance chain that can pass messages around and it's all connected, has very, very low rollback risk, everything can be much more tightly integrated and low friction throughout the ecosystem.
Awesome. And one more question about the DeepIn or AI projects. Why they're simultaneously choosing Solana as launching their application or services? I mean, do you see what is the biggest benefits here in Solana here to offer DeepIn projects?
I think most people choose Solana for a product reason. It's the best place to operate their business. I think blockchain can be incredibly noisy. People are just minting tokens all over the place. So there's just a bunch of incentives or narratives or whatever across. But if you really get down to brass tacks and you really want to have an ecosystem where you can collaborate with a bunch of different apps, which is one of the main reasons to be on blockchain. It's an open data, open programmatic environment. So if you really want to be in that, you want to go to someplace that is connected. So again, Solana doing so many transactions and so much capacity on a single shared state. Because DeepIn oftentimes is very collaborative with other projects. If you host one node, somebody can host another, and sometimes there's interoperability of that, whatever the functionality that provides. So if you're doing internet access with Helium, and then Hive Mapper is using that internet to upload images or something like that, like it's very collaborative, all in one. You're getting paid Honey token and then paying it out in Helium. Like there's just tons of options there. So yeah, it's really just comes down to the product decision. What is the best place to operate your business? And I think there's a lot of user experience issues, or decentralization is kind of a meme, but in some cases. But Solana is a very decentralized platform, especially relative to L2s and other L1s that are 100 permission validator sets. So if I want to operate my business and have assurances that I have the same access as everybody else, then you just go on Solana.
Yeah, that's really makes sense. I mean, I feels like the Solana when it started. I mean, you guys started to design Solana in the beginning. I was wondering if you guys have been thought about IoT will be eventually decentralizedly handling by the edge computing, and then with a decentralized network, it's easy to handle all those kind of data coming together. Yeah, so probably like you said, the reason is quite smooth here. So everybody simultaneously choose Solana as the all we saw this like almost all the deepin projects are here. Yeah, thank you so much for your answer, Matt.
No, thank you.
Thank you. I think that was all the questions we had from our side, from the administration side, to all our guests. So I thought that we could bring up some questions from the audience as well. And we have one here in the chat, David, for you, I think. So how will privacy contribute in the AI ecosystem, and how will it differentiate itself from the competition?
Yeah, I mean, I think for privacy here, we the difference is we applying part of the privacy perceiving capabilities into the current network, which is not so many other projects are trying to do this. And so especially applying FHE machine learning pipeline is not that easy, to be honest, and it actually has to be involved along with other technology together in both algorithm side and hardware acceleration. Then with those together, then you probably can unlocking more scenarios in the near future. Mm, yeah, I think that is something we working together with all the partnerships here, because some of them are working on the algorithm side, like bring the best tool in the market. Like Zama has been working so many years on the complete ML, and that is quite useful for a certain use cases. For example, the biometric side, and is good enough, quick enough to uh, like lower down the barrier for users coming in. And for acceleration on the FHE side, we also have to cooperate with other projects to make sure acceleration works on maybe on the training part in the near future, or even on the large data set, on the large language models. So yeah, that is the difference between us. So it's not easy entry into FHE domain, but it's a long way along with all the partnerships with different projects, and the improvement of the infrastructure is also quite important. Yeah.
Thank you, David. Very interesting. David, do you want to do some kind of conclusive remarks on this, or do you have any other questions to any of our guests, perhaps?
I think we can close it today. I thank you so much for all the guests to being here today. We got a lot of insights from all the guests on the data and AI perspective. Thank you so much.
Very interesting. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, LJ. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Stan. Greatly
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.